Is it a gun that sucks balls?
I'm the farting demon in this relationship.
I'd be an awesome rich person.
You're both just an embarrassment.
God, I'm awesome today.
We're talking Tom Hanks and his vehicle.
Yeah, I had my finger in my mouth waiting for you to finish.
You gotta get 4 balls or something?
Like dick piercing?
No, you know damn well I'm fucking that demon.
Still sexy. How could that be close and not be
Yeah,
right?
I'll just kill some random dude.
His wishes. and
Hey,
blowjobs.
everyone, and welcome to Plottytime, the podcast where we three gamers discuss video game stories in detail with all the necessary and appropriate backlash. On one side of the table, we have Chump Slap.
I never had a piece of fresh fruit until I was 21, and it was a lime. I still take the existence of peaches as hearsay.
And on the other side of the table is Dr. Syintist.
Hey, Broham, never tell crazy you were in it for the sex.
And my name is Poppascotch, and as I always say, it's not a distraction. The guy at the store said I'm the only guy he's ever seen pull it off. Mr. Andrews asked how much it costs, and he said, it's illegal for you to ask me that. Welcome to Plottytime. So this week, one little tiny piece for the correction crevice that really has nothing to do with anything we really talked about. I mentioned that last week when we were talking about the game from last week.
Yep.
Bullet twitch?
Bullet Witch. Yes. We were talking. I mentioned I fell asleep during a movie, and I called it the British horror movie or the British movie, whatever. It's actually an English haunting that put me to sleep. That's
Sounds boring. Okay.
All right. That's it.
That's all we got for the correction crevice. So let's move into our favorite segment. What are we playing? What are we watching? What are we doing? And let's start with you, Dr. Syintist. What's going on over there?
Well, I finished the game Lair of the Clockwork God.
How was it?
It was good. I enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah. Is it on sale in the indie sale now?
I don't know. I look through and I always ignore the ones that say purchased because there's a lot of them.
On sale.
I know. There's like 1,000 games.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You definitely should buy What Remains of Edith Finch because that's on there.
Maybe I will.
You won't.
I'm 95% sure I own that game.
I think it was a PS Plus.
It may have been.
I think it is.
Actually.
Because I was looking at it and I was like, oh, I think it.
Yeah, I bought like $50 worth of games.
Nice.
That's like 45 games.
Well, I think one of them was $12.
Whoa, Mr. Moneybags over here.
Big spender.
Right?
And not including Hades, which I bought, but I didn't start yet.
Ooh.
Okay.
What did I watch? I started watching Grimm again. I don't know if you remember that show.
Fairy tale stuff.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember.
I never watched it, but I remember it. I remember it existed.
Yeah. Yeah, he's from a bloodline of people called Grimms who can see what are called Vessen. They're like werewolves and witches and stuff. And it's okay. He's a cop. I mean, I enjoy it. I've watched it before. I know where it's going. So,
have you thought lately that you haven't seen Psych in a minute?
Oh, I'm always watching that.
Oh.
I didn't think it needed saying.
It's just always on.
I actually just started it like 2 weeks ago. Again, I'm at like episode 12 of season 1.
That's so good. You're probably just talking to the TV, repeating line for line.
Pretty much. This is a good part, I say to myself.
So do you just rotate between that and I know you throw in It's Always Sunny in there too?
Yeah, not as much as Psych.
Yeah, usually you watch Psych and then another show that you've seen, like Futurama, and then back to Psych. And then It's Always Sunny and then back to Psych.
I'm watching Psych and Grimm right now as my background noises.
Fair enough.
What movies did I watch, did you say?
I was thinking it.
I watched all 3 movies named Truth or Dare.
Really? That's cool.
Oh,
because I remember someone said that one of them was good, and I didn't remember which one was good, so I watched all 3 of them.
Were any of them good in your eyes?
None of them are really good.
Oh, no.
I was lied to. Unless there's another movie out there called Truth or Dare.
It probably is.
The best one was the newest one. The one from, I think it was 2012, was pretty bad. It was a guy invites these people up to a cabin, and then because his brother tried to commit suicide, and he blames those people, and he makes them play Truth or Dare, trying to find out who sent a thing to him and made his brother commit suicide, and they're locked in a cabin.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's not the supernatural one that I'm thinking.
Well, the other 2 are.
Okay.
The next one was they're playing at a house, and they start a game of Truth or Dare, and they have to finish 3 rounds.
Right.
They do the first theirs, and they leave, and then it starts happening to them outside. Like, it's like Truth or Dare, Truth or Dare.
Why don't you just say truth all the time?
I don't know. I don't know why they didn't. The next one at least explains why they didn't say truth all the time. The next Truth or Dare, which is the best one,
Okay.
was like these people go to like on spring break in Mexico, and this guy's like, "Hey, let's go to this castle." Well, it's a mission, an old mission, and then they go there, and then he tricks them into playing Truth or Dare, and he's like, "I'm sorry, you just got to keep saying Truth or Dare, and if you don't, you die." And then he leaves, and then they're like, "Ha ha ha," and then they go back and they start seeing like weird, like the faces of people start changing and stuff, and saying Truth or Dare, and it looks really weird and creepy.
Interesting.
And you can only do truth twice in a row.
Oh, how long do you have to do it?
It keeps going, cycling between them in order until all of them are dead.
Dare, I guess.
Is this the one with Lucy Hale in it?
Yes, it is. She looked familiar, but I could not think of what she was from.
I'm trying to think if I've seen this movie or if I'm thinking of a different one. Because I know I've seen her in Scream 4. Which, now that I think about it, that's an underrated movie.
Never saw it.
Scream 4?
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
basically... not that this ruins anything, really. I mean, the goddamn movie's over the decade old at this point.
Yeah.
So, in Scream 4, it's all about the killer ends up being someone who's trying to be, like, internet famous.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And that was, like, before... That came out before the whole influencer culture thing, so it was a little ahead of its time, but everyone's like, that's so dumb. People wouldn't kill people because of quality.
Yeah. All right.
I've seen Bro House.
True.
I've seen Guns Akimbo.
But if you're going to watch a Truth or Dare movie, watch the 2018 version. I think that's from.
2018.
With Lucy Hale.
All right.
It's by far the best, and I think I gave it 5 stars.
Out of 5. You heard it here, folks.
And I watched this decent movie called Pontypool.
I've
saw
seen
that.
that. That's great. I love that movie.
Yeah, I thought it was a great movie. It was a nice twist on zombiness, I guess. Questioning the nature of zombiness.
I love
Is that the guy with, he's like a radio DJ?
Yeah, and the zombies get turned by words or something.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was a good watch.
And then he's like the whole movie, if you guys haven't seen it, takes place in the radio station.
Yeah.
Like as he's on air and the shit's developing, like people are calling in and there's like a report, like a weather guy out there, I think, is there.
Yeah. I like how they, like when people start turning into zombies, they start saying really weird shit.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense, and they're just like talking normal to you.
I might have to watch that again.
But that's all I did. What did you do, Poppascotch? What'd you play, watch?
Before we really get into it, I do have to say I'm on the road, so I'm sorry if my microphone and everything sounds like shit. But we're dealing with it.
You always sound like shit.
Usually the content's the problem. This time, it's the audio. But we're getting through it. So this week, I didn't watch or play too terribly much. I only played 1 game or 2 games of zombies, maybe. I already unlocked the...
Fucking put it down.
Didn't last week you say he was done with it?
Yeah.
I said I was
Oh, the new
done
season.
until Season 5 came out. And then Season 5 came out a
Yeah.
couple days later. So I also unlocked the perk, and I unlocked the field upgrade. So I'm like, now there's nothing for me to do.
Oh, good. Put it away. I haven't looked back.
Well, see, I'm saying there's nothing for me to do, and I don't want to play it anymore, and I want to move on to other games. So why did I buy the Battle Pass? Chump Slap, why?
Exactly.
Why? I don't know what's wrong with me anymore.
That's all right, man. It's an addiction.
All right, yeah. Other than that, I didn't go back to Village yet, but I will do that as soon as I get back. I want to go on the collectible run.
Nice.
Ooh.
But
Sounds good.
I'll tell you what, man, those games are fucking weird. Like, they're really weird.
Isn't that the point?
Yeah, there isn't a Resident Evil game that isn't weird.
But usually, remember, like, we did the first 2 as a group, I believe, and those were
Yeah.
like, start with zombies and end with underground labs and some kind of large bio monster. This goes, like, way off the deep end. Like, they're just gross now to be gross.
Oh, nice.
And the conspiracy from Umbrella seems to just be getting ever wider and more ridiculous.
I just don't understand how you have a world where there's a massive zombie outbreak that leads to them nuking a city, essentially. Spoiler, I guess, for Resident Evil.
Mhm.
And then that's only
that was
the
3?
end of the third
Yeah.
game. There's like 5 more games.
Yeah. It's a strange universe.
Keep going. So yeah, that's what I played. So now I'm gonna give you guys an update on the Supernatural count.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
26 more episodes to go, guys.
You watched one episode.
No.
No, he was at 30 something last time.
Oh, was he? I thought he said 27.
I was at 37. I watched
wow.
like 9 last week.
You're almost at the end of season 14.
Yeah, I just finished episode 14 of season 14.
Season 15 is short, I believe.
It's another 20. That's 26 more, guys.
That's
what I said.
Dude, I've watched
Oh, you guys are
300.
gross.
I think there's 348 or 328. I've watched over 300 episodes either way.
That's insane.
It's a decent show.
I don't know if I feel good or bad about it. I really don't. I don't
That's
know.
fair.
It's like at this point I have to finish. I've come this far. Like you have to just.
Yeah. Now
So-
you have to.
Other than that, I've watched some pretty quality hotel television,
Nice.
Oh.
which included 2 movies that I haven't watched in a while. First one was Deadpool.
Okay.
Yeah, it's decent.
You know, it's fine. And then the other one I watched, which I hadn't seen in a long time and always forget how good it is, Independence Day.
It's fucking classic. Dude. I remember seeing that in the theaters the day it came out.
I remember seeing it in the theaters, yeah. Just the one scene where the guy's like, you knew about this. You had those aliens land in the desert in the 50s. And Bill Pullman's like, come on, that's bullshit. And then the other dude's like, that's not entirely accurate. Gets me every
Yeah.
time.
My
Every
favorite
time.
part is still, I'm fly, I'm pilot.
Yeah. And he's like, on a personal note, these guys abducted me 10 years ago, and I've been looking for some payback.
Yeah.
It's
man.
great.
Classic movie.
It's great. It was one of those where I turned it on. It was like one of their HBO variations, and I'm like, I'll leave this on until I find something better. Nope, watch the whole rest of the movie.
Yeah, might as well.
I think I started watching it right before the aliens blew everything up, so I saw the first destruction moment.
That happens pretty early too.
Yeah.
I kind of want to watch it all again. And I know I've seen the second one.
It's horrible.
I remember it not being good. I must have mentally blocked it out, so I didn't remember any of it.
Yeah, I don't think I even made it through the whole thing.
I know I did, but I remember being super bored, and I remember this is great podcasting where I talk about what I think I remember about a movie I didn't like. But I was like, I remember them retconning a bunch of stuff that didn't make sense.
You mean like the whole first movie?
Yeah, completely changed the events of the first movie or something. Whatever. I'll watch it again, and I'll report for next week. That's if
All right, thank God.
I get through all those Supernatural episodes.
No, we can't do that in a week.
He could. I think you can.
Excuse
Oh,
me?
he is in a hotel, bored as shit.
I'm sure there's cool stuff to do in Minnesota. I'm sure.
I'm not so sure.
I'm sure there's something to do.
all the locals. I'm like, what's the most Minnesota thing I can do? And they're like, you got to go to the Mall of America. I'm like, all right, man, cool. And then I go and I went into the aquarium there. I saw a bunch of stuff. I walked the entire thing. I'm like, all right, now what? And they're like,
Go eat some cheese.
yeah, they're like, cheese curds. I'm like, well, that's kind of more Minnesota's thing, but I love cheese. I'll do that. Now what? And they're like, if you like Ren fairs, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You're telling me there's not anything else? There's anything else to do besides Ren fairs? I think this is a town that has a lot of delightful weirdos, and they're just not comfortable with outsiders yet. Being like, you want to get into some weird shit? Go to this. I'll be like, that sounds awesome.
You want a donkey show?
In Minnesota?
Of all places, I mean, it's where Prince used to live. There had to be some awesome shit here, right?
True.
Right?
I don't think Prince stayed there.
Oh, he
You
did.
get pancakes.
All right. But yeah, anyway, that's all I did. So how about you, Chump Slap? What are you playing, watching, doing? What's going on with you?
Well, I'm glad you asked because I'm sure these people are biting their nails waiting.
Yeah.
I downloaded Metro Exodus because it was on sale for like $10.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I played it for 45 minutes and then crashed.
Nice.
So
Is that the second one?
No, the second
there's
one's
a third
Dying
one,
Light.
I think, yeah.
That's the I played the second one. I never played Exodus.
Which one is 2033? Is that the first or the
That's the
First one. Yeah.
Man, their names are too close. Or I'm just dumb. One
They're
of
not even remotely similar.
2033.
The Dying Light and Exodus.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't tell you where they are in the series, but
I mean, Exodus, I guess they get out from the Metro and they're fucking...
is it still in Russia?
Yeah, they're trying to find the base where all the military leaders went. and they get a train. So I just got the train. I'm at like the first stop right now.
Nice.
But it's a lot of shit to do.
That's cool.
I know. I was like, yeah, it kind of reminds me of like Fallout-y,
Yeah.
post-apocalypse.
And now you have 3 games to talk about so far at the end of the year review.
At least 4. I did download Superliminal too because it's on sale for $11.
I thought about it, but
I'll let you know if it's any good.
all right.
What's that game even about?
Oh, it's like a perception puzzle game. Like, say you pick up a block and you like hold it in the air, and then you drop it, and it like drops on the floor like far away. It's like a really big block,
Oh, okay.
I don't know how to explain it.
No, it makes sense. It's kind of like what was that line game?
It's a perception puzzle.
There was another perception.
Echochrome?
Yeah, there it is. You got it.
Yeah, where you line up shit. And
Yeah, and you could walk
yeah.
up things.
Stuff,
And,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. It looks fun. I'm a fan of puzzle games, and fuck it.
Fuck it.
So I watched a couple movies.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You guys ever hear of Final Girls?
Is that a TV show?
No, it was a movie with Middleditch, and I don't know anybody else.
I don't know who that is.
The guy
It's
from
got
Silicon Valley.
Taste of Farmiga, or whatever, how you pronounce your name.
Yeah.
Alan Ackerman.
Oh yeah, Melon Ackerman.
Adam Devine.
Oh yeah, he's in it too. There's a lot of funny people, but it wasn't funny.
Nice.
It's like they go into an 80s horror film is screening, and there's a fire in a theater. They cut through the screen. It's kind of like Last Action Hero. They go into the movie, and then I don't know.
No, that sounds all right.
It sounds all right.
That sounds awesome. Like,
but it's not.
dude, that's always the worst when you hear or you read a log line or you see a trailer and you're like, that looks awesome. Then you watch it and it's real.
It was supposed to be a comedy, I guess, maybe like a dramedy. I don't know, but it wasn't funny. I didn't laugh once. It's kind of upsetting, considering the cast. I did laugh once or twice at this movie called Jungle Cruise. The Rock's new movie.
Oh yeah.
Nice segue.
Well, fucking tell us about it. What's Jungle Cruise all about?
It's about
Let me guess. A jungle cruise.
this lady wants to go down the Amazon. The Rock has a boat. I think it's the Amazon.
Sure.
I don't even fucking remember. I don't remember why she was going.
Get it together, Chump Slap. Jesus.
I didn't write anything down for this one because I thought I'd remember it, and I don't.
Who's the
You thought you'd remember the basic plot of the movie?
Who's the actress in it? She's
Oh, yeah.
famous.
She's famous as hell, too. Fuck. All right. Let me look it up quick.
It's Emily Blunt is the actress.
Oh, okay.
There
Emily
you
Blunt,
go.
That's it.
But they're just going down the river, and then you find this. I don't want to ruin it for anybody who wants to watch it.
Spoiler alert.
No, there won't be one.
But you're saying The Rock's funny in it.
Yeah, I love anything The Rock's in, dude. I'll watch it.
Even Skyscraper?
Or The Tooth Fairy?
Yeah, I've seen both of them.
I've seen Skyscraper.
Dude, have you really seen Tooth Fairy?
Yeah. It's terrible.
I don't know, man. He's a hockey player, which
Yeah, you might dig it. I mean, it's The Rock. Fuck it.
Fuck it, I got a plane ride. Let's take a chance.
He was in Jumanji, right?
Yeah.
It's the only reason I watched those 2 movies.
Those were fun.
I think there were 2.
Yeah. Karen Gillian was in it.
Yeah.
And Jack Black.
Take or leave him.
Usually leave.
Yeah, it was okay.
So it gets a Chump Slap thumbs up for.
It gets a Chump Slap meh.
Hmm.
But, I mean, if you're anything like me, you'll watch it because The Rock's in it. So give it a look if you want.
The man's catalog is fantastic.
It's so true.
Speaks for itself.
I also watched this movie called Incarnation.
Mm.
Where this guy wakes up on a bench and then gets assassinated by these 4 masked men.
Sounds
And
sexy.
Groundhog Day style. He keeps waking up on that bench.
So it's like boss level?
Yeah, kind of. But he only does it like 3 or 4 times. And then he figures out the whole story, why he's there and how. It was okay. But then the ending is like, that's how he stopped it? That's dumb. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
I bought a donut instead of a crawler, and it changed all the future.
No, it was stupid. I don't know. But it wasn't, I wouldn't say stupid, but
ridiculous.
It was fun for the first, not the last 10, 20 minutes. All right, let's just say that.
So quit when you're halfway through it.
I don't know what I want to tell you when to quit because that would just ruin it. But yeah, give it a look.
Okay, Incarnation.
I think it comes from another country too. So don't know which one. So stop asking.
All right.
Let's get to the fucking slapper of the week already. The Immaculate Conception of Little Dizzle.
Okay.
See, I thought you guys would have heard of this one.
No. Oh yeah. Of course. I'm gonna guess.
I think that. Oh, go ahead.
I'm saying it is basically the sequel to Love and Basketball.
Ooh.
That's pretty good.
I'm going to say it's a Spike Lee version of The Life of Brian.
I might watch that.
I would watch that movie.
You guys aren't even fucking close.
Is it about the Immaculate Conception of Little Dizzle?
It is.
Oh.
Because there's this group of janitors, and they work in this building that has a company that's trying to create these awesome cookies that heat in your mouth when you eat them.
That sounds dangerous.
Oh, wait. So these self-eating cookies, they're unknowingly put into like a trial. Like they keep leaving them out at night, so they steal them and eat them. And then they just try to see what happens. And it turns out these cookies get in your stomach and create a life form. They call it a semi-animate mound.
Sounds sexy.
And eventually, this life form secretes like LSD or something, and it makes you fucking trip out and go crazy. And then eventually you shit it out, and it dies.
That sounds all enjoyable.
So wait, are the janitors the unwilling test subjects, or the janitors making the cookies?
No, they're the unwilling test subjects. The people are...
So the cookies aren't actually supposed to be hot in your mouth. They're supposed to just...
No, they're supposed to.
Oh, it's just a side effect, that thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
They name it some weird thing like exothermic, blah, blah, blah.
Some science term.
Yeah. And then when you eat them, they just like, your saliva warms them up, and it just like feels like a fresh baked cookie. Which sounded cool.
I love cooking stuff.
until the forced insemination of a couple janitors.
Uh-huh. Until...
So it was Little Dizzle that got inseminated, or was the thing called Little Dizzle?
the guy...
Where's Little Dizzle?
All right.
Is what the audience wants to know.
One of the janitors gives birth to this blue flopping fish thing, and he calls it Little Dizzle. Like that, he names it Little Dizzle, but it's not a viable life form. So it just
That
dies
sounds like a
eventually.
bad thing to name your movie after.
And I regret asking.
It's an interesting movie. Go give it a look.
I'll definitely say it's something.
All right, well, that was the Immaculate Conception of Little Dizzle. That is your slapper of the week.
Slap.
So let's go ahead and move on to our favorite segment, which is video game news / stuff.
Ski pop 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 pop.
Leading the way, the big news, the one no one saw coming, Skyrim is getting ported to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X.
Wow.
Makes me sad and sick.
That was a game I never would have played if it wasn't for Dr. Syintist basically berating me until I played it.
That was a good game.
It's a
And it
fantastic
was
game,
great.
but
I loved it. But I played it a decade ago. Like I'm ready.
And I put over 200 hours into it.
I know.
Yeah, it's not something I want to play again.
I'm kind of getting annoyed at all these remakes, except it's giving me time to play all the games I have in my backlog, which is now 35.
Right?
Yeah, that's a good point. That this generation that just came out last November, which we're almost at a year now.
I still don't have a PlayStation 5.
You haven't bought a PlayStation 5 yet, and I'm like, you don't really.
There's no need to.
I have a list on my phone of games I'm going to buy when I buy a PlayStation 5, and so far it's Spider-Man and Ratchet and Clank.
Oh yeah, did you know Metro Exodus is PlayStation 5?
I can also play it on 4.
Yeah, but it's different on 5. It's got ray tracing, dude.
Oh boy. Yeah, I know. I noticed a big difference. I tried playing Call of Duty Cold War on PlayStation 4, and it looked a little bit shittier, and the load times were a lot longer.
Oh, fuck
But it's a thing where if you don't have a PlayStation 5, you don't know what you're missing. You know what I mean? Like, this is just how it is.
Yeah, and if you're playing multiplayer, you have to wait for the other people's load times anyway. So what the fuck?
It's still on Amazon. The cheapest you can get a PlayStation 5 is $1,000.
I can't believe that.
Because they don't have new ones, so you have to buy.
Yeah.
There was also news that came out that they are coming out with a new model PlayStation 5 soon.
Get the fuck out. I'll buy a new one. You can have this old one.
I'll just buy the new
You
one.
can have this old fucking year-old piece of shit.
Yeah.
Barely used.
Yeah, right.
They also are fixing the... I don't know if you have... Do you have yours horizontally or vertically, Chump Slap?
Horizontal.
Mine's vertical, and it comes with that plastic stand thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't know if you guys remember, but I tried to do the plastic stand. I couldn't get it to fucking work until I read the instruction book.
Yeah.
There's like a hidden screw in it somewhere.
Oh, I remember, yes.
And now they're getting rid of that hidden screw. That was another piece of news that came out this week.
All
You
right.
still need the stand to put it.
That's the new version without
too.
the hidden.
That'd be great if that's the only thing different about the new model.
Yeah.
Different stand, buying it twice as much. Anyway, other news: NHL 22 has finally been announced.
Oh, no, I didn't think it was
Who's on the
coming.
cover?
Austin Matthews, again for the second time in 3 years.
All right.
That's a little unfair.
Everyone knew it was going to be announced and it was coming. But there was a 10-second teaser the night before that had the Rangers rink and Artemi Panarin, and they're like, "Oh, is he going to be on the cover?" And then the next day, Austin Matthews on the cover. But I mean, it's got standard updates. It's going to use the Frostbite engine for the first time, which is, if you care about that stuff, then you know. But the only thing that really has me jazzed for it is that players. I'm reading this statement. Players that played on previous generation games will be able to transfer their HUT team to the next generation. You'll be able to protect 20 players and the coach with their progression to a next-gen system.
Yeah, isn't that one of the games that you just buy packs of cards, though?
That's exactly what you do. You buy packs of cards every year.
Yeah, so they'll just make new, better packs anyway. So
yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I guarantee, because I have a team that's really good right now. Everyone's in the 90s. Which takes forever to get on HUT.
Yeah.
And it's going to be nice to get a lot of those guys transferred over, but at the same time, I'm sure they're going to do some crap where it's like, oh, you transferred them over? Well, now you just get those base cards, and they're all 84s, or whatever.
Yeah, it kind of defeats the whole purpose of it, the mode.
Yeah, because then
really
why would you even
does.
play it if you have the best cards?
Yeah.
Already?
I think that the mode would be a lot better if you were able to buy packs with less coins so you can get more packs.
Or
because it takes like 5 games to get enough cards.
I was going to say, if they gave you bonus coins or something from playing the previous ones. Like games used to do.
Oh, yeah, you start up and you start with like 1,000 coins.
Yeah, or whatever the currency is. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Other than that, the NHL 22 news, there's a fun video game story that came out. I don't know if you guys saw this, but in case anybody missed it, we don't know who this seller was or who is the person that did this. Someone donated a sealed NES copy of The Legend of Zelda to a Goodwill. And then the Goodwill website, realizing they had something of value, sold it on their website at auction.
Well, yeah, that's fine. That's fair.
And it ended up going for $411,278.
So that beat out Mario again?
Oh, no, dude. That Mario 64 was at $1.5 million.
Oh, okay. Phew. You got me scared.
Do you think they did it on purpose? Or they accidentally
You think
gave
someone
them again?
died and they just got rid of their house? Yeah, who knows?
Maybe it just, I don't know, give this box to Goodwill. I don't know what's in it.
Yeah. At least it wasn't a story of like some dude found this at a Goodwill and bought it for $5.
Yeah. I hate those stories.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. It's nice to know that money's going towards Goodwill. It's not going to...
I mean, I'd rather it was with me, but...
Yeah, I'll take $400.
Sure. But it's not going to some fucking auction company. Or
some guy named Chaz who walked in there to buy Birkenstocks.
What the fuck?
Is that a reference to something I just don't know?
No, it was just me trying to...
It's pretty funny.
It was just me trying to be hipster.
Chaz.
Well, now it's time for some rumors.
Oh.
Here's some rumors. Well, I just have the one, and it's a sports game. Dude, I'm sorry. This week was very thin on news. So
That's
I'm
fair.
doing my best.
And he had a lot of time to look.
Yeah.
I did. I really did. I spent like 2 hours digging for news. Usually news just falls into my lap, and I have like 7 things I could pick, and I pick a couple good ones. This was a tough week. But anyway, so it looks like the rumor is that the EA Sports NCAA football game that's coming out is not going to happen until July 2023. The reason this is because a guy by the name of Matt Brown from a website called Extra Points leaked a document that said that there's going to be a 4-year term to use the licenses of the NCAA football teams between 2023 and 2027.
So you have to wait for it to start?
Yeah, they have to wait. Like, that's when they signed the license, the agreement so they can use the teams for those 4 years.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
So that's why they're assuming it's not going to come in for 2 more years.
And this is only a rumor.
I said it was thin. I said it was a thin week. So the rumor is it's coming out July 2023. For all we know, it may not happen until 2024.
Oh my God, it might be 2022.
No, because the thing doesn't start before then.
I don't believe that. That's the rumor part.
There's a joke in here about reskinning the Madden game for NCAA, but I'm not going to go digging for that.
I don't know what that means.
It doesn't sound very funny.
Well, that's what they used to do. Just basically make the same fucking game as Madden.
Yeah, just
Why
take out the
wouldn't
names.
you? I mean, it's fucking football.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, how much does it change?
They change the playbook a little and boom, it's over.
Yeah.
Change some jerseys,
Whatever.
randomize the players, boom.
Yeah.
Add
exactly.
I don't know how many FBS schools are there? 120?
115, I think, somewhere around there. 120, yeah.
Yeah, something around there. So add, I don't know, 300% more teams. I don't know how math works. I think that's right.
That sounds perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's fine. We're going to go with that.
I'm not checking it.
Good.
Who cares?
But that does it for video game news / stuff.
Boom, 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 boom.
Brr, 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 brr.
All right, so how about we get into the game, guys? How's that sound?
Oh, dude, I've heard so much about this game. People love it.
Yeah.
I think we've done it before.
Probably never heard anything from me about it, though, right?
No,
Not this one.
No, something about the sequel, but
It's kid, though.
Well, this is the game where we ask the question, can a game accurately predict the future by only replacing a covert civilian defense force with military cosplayers? That game is Tom Clancy's The Division.
woo.
It was released March 8, 2016. The #1 song in the country was Work by Rihanna featuring Drake. Rihanna featuring Drake.
That was a decent
#1
song.
movie, Zootopia.
Ooh.
Classic.
Yeah.
6 years ago, 5 years ago.
And everyone knows the most popular baby names at the time were Noah and Olivia.
I hate all those people.
I ran out of fucking historical pricing, so I put the baby names. I'll come up with some. I'm working on it. It was released for PC, PlayStation 4, and the Xbox. Action role-playing third-person looter shooter with clown armor. And it is written by Tom Abernathy, who also wrote Destroy All Humans and Halo Reach.
What a wide range.
It's interesting.
And he also written by John Bjorling and Peter Blauner, who Peter Blauner also wrote a bunch of episodes of Blue Bloods and Law and Order SVU. Interesting group of writers on this one.
Yeah, right? Sounds like it would have been better than it was.
Oh, shit. Snap. Pew, pew. That's shots fired.
They had that many writers on this?
3 of them, I guess.
For each mission and shit, probably, yeah.
There was a lot of, journal entries and intel and stuff to find.
Yeah.
Oh, was there?
That a lot of the journal entries and intel and audio files and stuff explained the lore of this game a lot more in detail. But we didn't get any of that in the cutscene video.
No.
No.
But you can explain it to us because you're an expert.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. Well, we start the game with an intense intro, which, I gotta say, the first time I fired this game up, the intro got me. It looked pretty rad.
Yeah, I was hooked.
It was showing a Black Friday that leads into panic and mass hysteria caused by a viral epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different than the one we're living through right now.
Well, we're living through a pandemic. This was an epidemic.
Fair enough. What's the difference, Dr. Scientist?
The range of it.
Yeah, this was New York.
Yeah. Pandemics are worldwide. Ergo the prefix pan.
Yeah. The flute playing satyr.
The breakout happens on Black Friday, which we would later find out from banknotes that were passed around. And the city, people started dying. Hysteria happened. And then this prompted the start of the JTF, the Joint Task Force.
What a creative name and acronym.
Joint.
I know. It was called that because it involved New York City police, firefighters, National Guard, and basically civilian volunteers. They were all trying to basically stop the violence and stop the spread of the disease. With this, within New York, the division agents were activated.
So, this is my first question.
Sure.
Is the division like sleeper cells?
Sort of.
It's like the National Guard reserves.
What I always thought it was, and I'm sure there's real lore about how this was, but it was like people who were military or retired who were kind of like a backup National Guard almost. They only got activated when stuff went really bad.
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
So, and they were basically civilian soldiers. They weren't like active duty military. It was just when your watch went off, it's time to report. But they're the division agents. The definition we got here, they're a hidden civilian army that is activated as a last line of defense.
Apparently, they're a bunch of armies of one.
Yeah, apparently.
Pretty much. Although the first wave was activated, they went in to assist the JTF in stopping the violence in the city and basically keeping everyone within New York to try and contain the epidemic.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, the JTF, the remaining civilian population, basically everybody abandoned New York.
Well, we know this would be ridiculous because half the people would have stayed there saying it's a right and freedoms.
And got
Exactly.
shot.
Yeah. And then would have went licking money to prove people wrong.
And then put that on their YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I don't know. This was a pretty serious one. This was the green poison, dude.
I guess the way they explain it in the game is that it is a virus that can pass and move on to somebody else without fully incubating in the person.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see how they
Which
did
I
that.
don't know enough about epidemiology to know if that's even fucking possible. I don't think it is.
I think it is.
Maybe. I don't know. All right, let's argue about it. Let's get in each other's faces.
Well, they have 3D printers that print up viruses, motherfucker. Come on.
It's true, they do.
Do you think there's 3D printers that are that accurate that can print out
You
viruses?
think this isn't a true story?
Yeah.
This all happened in Mexico. They just readapted
Yeah.
the story.
Yeah.
Santa Cruz.
Isn't this what fucking Home Alone 2 was about?
Mostly that and the pigeon lady.
Yeah.
I also think this is the second week second out of 3 weeks we referenced Home Alone 2 for some reason. Fucking Christmas movie. Anyway, so I mentioned briefly that the game does clown armor. And what I mean by that is whatever armor you get that has better stats is immediately applied. There's no theme at all. It's just you end up looking like a ridiculous smattering of different colors.
Which is exactly what you'd expect from a highly trained civilian secret force.
Yeah, you take the best stuff.
Exactly. Except for, don't you want to have some element of camouflage? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'd imagine
No, there's so much cover.
There are empty or turned over vehicles left and right.
Yeah.
You start this game as being activated for Wave 2 of the division.
Ooh.
So Wave 1 was left behind, failed. They're assumed dead. I don't know how many agents were supposedly in Wave 1 or 2. It's supposed to be a reason for you to be like a one-man army, essentially.
Yeah, because I think the second wave has 2 agents.
Well, no, there's a helicopter that shows up with a bunch of them, but
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you start the game in Brooklyn, you lock down a local precinct, and then I always thought this was strange in the game because you then leave Brooklyn to go to Manhattan, but you never come back to Brooklyn at all. So it's like they rendered 3 square blocks of Brooklyn to have it in the game, and you never went back.
Yeah, wasn't Brooklyn the training grounds? Figure it out.
like a tutorial.
And then you cross a bridge and you're like, boom.
So you meet your first you get your first checkpoint, and you meet another agent that you're going to get to know a lot, Fei Lao. And she's kind of like your boss giving orders, I guess.
So there's an hierarchy to the division?
Yes.
Is there? I don't know. I think
There
You
obviously-
played the game.
There is, because the higher ups were on the helicopter that was coming down.
Yeah. Well,
They
it
say
is
it-
about to come down.
Yeah, they say it a couple times.
Right. This is the moment we're referring to. You are about to get on a chopper to fly into New York City, and it gets blown up with a whole bunch of division agents. So it's essentially you and Faye, and that's it.
Yeah, she's completely fucked up, like missing an eye, and you're like, no scratches on you.
Yeah.
No scratches. Her leg is jacked up, so she can't do anything, and she lost an eye. Which I guess is the game's way of saying, giving her a reason to sit at home base, really,
Yeah.
and run that shit.
That happens a couple times. It's like, I'd love to go out and help you, but,
Yeah.
fucking twist
bum
my
leg.
ankle, man.
Yeah. Like I woke up like a little bit gassy. So I'm stepping back on this one.
I don't want to give us
You do
away.
it yourself. I also want to say before we get too deep into it that I think we may be getting a full bingo out of this game. Like there's a lot of them.
I think you're right.
We already got the helicopter blown up.
Exactly. We already have a helicopter explosion. That leads
True.
us, I don't know exactly how to articulate this, but the helicopter explosion that leads to a cutscene that leads to you being in a different area.
Yeah.
We've seen it a billion times.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of games. So after the Halo explosion, you basically, you're in and out of consciousness. A medic chopper gets you, takes you to NYC, and dumps you and Faye off, and I guess you can walk now and you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's another bingo place. Pass out and wake up somewhere else.
Yeah.
Definitely. And the two of you come in at Camp Hudson, which was like an evacuation point, but has since been overrun. It's your base for now. But the whole point of this game, the whole thing we're getting to, is you are trying to restore order. The virus has... They keep talking as if the virus is just in New York or it's run its course.
Mm-hmm.
Later we find out that's not the case. But for now, the point is to restore the city and just get power back and get shit under control, for Christ's sake.
Because there's civilians still like locked in their houses and shit, right?
Yeah, there's still a bunch of civilians around. A lot of people have died from the epidemic. I keep wanting to say pandemic, which I guess technically is later in the story. But the first thing you have to do is you have to escort some JTF soldiers through the city because they've basically been left there. There's little to no organization, and they're just trying to do what they can, really.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you lead them through the city, and you establish the new base at the James Farley Post Office in Manhattan. And this is a real building. It's your main base of operations throughout the entire rest of this game.
Right.
Name drop.
Exactly.
Is it? So then the game starts to unravel. You have different districts. They're separated by level. The idea is to go and rescue key people, clear them out, get more staff so you can start running a real base, get more resources, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
So by saving New York, you build up your base. But this is also where Faye starts giving orders because she's fucked up and can't really do anything else.
Exactly.
First mission, you go across the street and you clear out Madison Square Garden. And you fight your way through and save Dr. Jessica Candle.
Because she's a virologist.
Yeah, she's like the last... I also don't like her character at all.
Yeah, she annoyed me. She's like, I could do this all myself, but, we gotta fucking let these other people...
You're just scared of a powerful woman.
I don't think so, because Faye's fucking hot.
Yeah, dog.
No, she definitely has an ego problem, Candle.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one of those people that... I mean, she's a fictional character, but she's one of those people where she's extremely smart and is always the smartest person in the room and knows it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And just doesn't really have time for anybody that can't speak on her level. Anyway.
Actually...
It's convenient that she's the doctor that you find right away.
Yeah.
I know, right? The most important person was across the street.
Yeah.
So you get into... You rescue her, you bring her back to the base, and she opens up the infirmary, and her whole deal is to start investigating, start trying to figure out where the virus came from, and maybe try to make a cure or at least something to slow it down.
Mm-hmm.
All by herself.
She's good at it.
Without resources.
She's the best.
Yeah, and little to no data.
Mm-hmm.
But she does get some intel that a guy by the name of Charlie Amherst may have created the virus.
Ooh. Chucky Am.
So that's a start to it. We're going to hear more about Chucky Am
All right.
later on. And then the next person you go to save is a guy by the name of Captain Benitez, who's in the Lincoln Tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
You fight through, you kill a bunch of dudes, you get him back. You're mostly fighting 3 different factions within this game. There's the Rikers, which are played as... This is also pretty fucked up. But the Rikers are played as escaped convicts who are now free, and their first order of business isn't to see their family or to basically leave Manhattan. It's to start a gang, which is kind of fucked up.
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
Oh, it gets worse because then you have the Cleaners,
Yeah.
who are the firefighters. They were police. They were the people that helped build the wall around New York to stop people from going in or out. And they felt like they were doing a huge service to the community, and then everybody abandoned them behind the wall. So their immediate reaction was, you know what? No one's going to let us out until the virus is gone.
Kill.
Let's start a gang.
All viruses.
Murder everybody. If everyone's dead, there's no virus. Right?
So true.
So that's where they come in. And then there's also the LMB, the Last Man Battalion, which started off as private military contractors. Another bingo board.
Boom.
They were protecting rich people's money, and then they got left there as well. They got bitter about it and decided to start a gang.
Right on.
That's paraphrasing, but those are the three groups you're going to fight with. Basically, you're running around as a person who can kill whomever they want, because the element of surprise is very important in this game. So you just sneak up on people and murder them in the street. And is it that they're horrible gang members or desperate people trying to survive?
They're horrible gang members.
Poor K-Dose.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if your first response to a little bit of hardship is, hey, let's start a gang, I don't think you're really caring about the surviving part.
How many first responders just were like, first responders, we're going to fucking kill everybody now?
That's the last gauze pad I put on somebody. Give me a gun.
Yeah. So weird.
Yeah. But I guess if we're going to buy that, we got to buy it to move on here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we buy a lot of worse stuff.
Yeah. Fair.
That's true. So basically, Benitez is skeptical that the Division can do any of this shit. But after you rescue him and bring him back, so he's like another person at the base that's giving you missions.
Is the Division like a popularly known thing?
That's a great question, because my understanding was that it was completely secret.
Yeah, you said hidden before, so
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was secret.
Yeah. So then now everyone knows about them because they got activated for this, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe?
All right.
Yeah, because they know about the first crew that came in. They're like, oh, those guys? Bunch of
Those guys that didn't do jack
pushovers.
shit
Yeah.
got murdered immediately? Yeah, they didn't do much. So anyway, the next mission is to go and get a guy by the name of Rhodes, who I'm pretty sure is Chump Slap's favorite character.
I'm not going to lie. I fell asleep like 5 times during this part and I had to rewind it and start it over.
What are you talking about? You had to secure the power. Right?
Rhodes is apparently
Yeah.
the last remaining person in New York that knows how a power grid works.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here's your next bingo spot, too.
It's one of those where you got to turn... Well, there's several bingo spots.
Yeah.
You got to turn the power
there
back
is.
on. Like, no, just in this section. You got to turn the power back on. You have to protect Rhodes as he turns the power back on.
Yep.
And then when you finally get the power back on, you send him back to the base so he can get shit online from there.
Mm-hmm. Because that's...
Which I suppose isn't as much of a bingo board spot, but you got 2 bingo board spots right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rose is cool. I mean, fucking fuck everybody, right?
Yeah, he's a hardcore New Yorker.
Yeah.
But then the next mission, you go to the Hudson Rails area. I will say, I do remember playing this, and I thought the game was a really neat approximation of New York. Like, it wasn't one for one, obviously. It was scaled down.
Yeah.
But it had a lot of the famous landmarks that it could use without using naming rights.
Mm-hmm.
It looked great. It really did. I just wish the big complaint I had about it is that while you have this big, beautiful rendered city, there's so few buildings you can actually go in.
Yeah.
There's one of those.
That's the way it always is, though.
I know, it's a bummer. But anyway, you're off to the Hudson Rails area to get some blood samples for the doctor, for Dr. Candle, because this is where one of the early outbreaks happened. And since the virus is heavily adaptable and is mutated, the plan then becomes going from the Hudson Rails area, going to Abel's department store.
Yeah, find some of the original $20 bills that had this shit on it.
Yeah, because I guess during the beginning days of the epidemic, they traced back all these banknotes to this Abel's departments. It's like, I don't know, Macy's or fucking Nordstrom or one of those big New York.
J.C. Penney.
Jesus, or whatever. Those stores.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But still, how are you supposed to find an original $20 bill that it was on? Like,
It's like a needle in a haystack, she says
Yeah.
herself. But he's a fucking division dude, so gets it done.
I thought the whole point was to get them out to the
Yeah, so why would there be any there?
yeah,
And why would you use $20 bills if they're giving change?
yeah,
You'd use ones, or
I would think so.
right?
And give them to a
ones
bank.
and fives would do it, right?
Yeah. Stupid.
I know they have no idea how to spread it.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
fucking idiots.
Turns out it's easier than you think.
Just tell people their rights are being violated, and they'll just spread it themselves.
Tell them Bill Gates put a microchip in it.
Yeah, man. Come on.
The fucking Democrats don't want you out there spitting in each other's mouths.
Beautiful.
Any hoodles. So you get through Abel's, and you actually surprisingly find one of the contaminated bills.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's probably on a trampled body.
Probably. I would
It
have
was Black Friday,
yeah.
dude.
Yeah. This person's been dead since Black Friday.
Well, I mean, for it to still be there, you'd think this virus would act fairly quickly.
yeah, I don't know specifically when the game takes place, but it's definitely around Christmas because you see a bunch of Christmas decorations everywhere.
Well, that could just be because that's when the world
Yeah, but-
stopped. You know? It could be fucking 3 months later.
But it started on Black Friday.
Yeah.
And it's still winter, so it's not
True,
past like
true.
March. You and I will say too, the Division 2 takes place in the summer, which I assume is the summer after this. I could also be wrong about that. It could be 3 years later.
Yeah, who knows?
But don't worry, we'll get to that.
Oh, yeah, we will.
So you get the sample, you send it back to the doctor. The doctor does a bunch of tests and finds out for sure that the virus is absolutely man-made.
Obviously.
Yeah.
It's easy to find out. I mean, the
By
guy signed
yourself
his
in a
name on
makeshift
it.
lab.
But the fun thing that they found out is that the virus is a combination of a bunch of other deadly diseases.
Oh.
Genius.
Like smallpox?
Genius.
It has, I guess the whole thing was it was a smallpox base because smallpox was highly infectious.
Yeah, and then just glued stuff onto
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a missile with shit taped to it. It's pretty great.
it. Yeah, it's pretty. It makes sense.
Absolutely.
Scientifically sound.
To the layman like myself, I'm like, well, that makes sense. I don't know how viruses actually work. I lived through a pandemic and don't really know how viruses work. So the next step then is you're going after the cleaners. You need to clean out the city, and you're going to take them out at their headquarters, which is at a construction site.
How
And the big point of
ridiculous.
this is to make sure they can't make napalm anymore.
Yeah, they want to napalm the whole city, right?
Well, that would get rid of the virus.
Yeah. Genius.
Oh yeah, like when you're running through the city and shooting these guys, they are very much into like the religion of fire and cleansing.
Yeah, because
They are ex-firemen.
yeah, that's what I think. Like the ex-firemen and ambulance guys set up a base at a construction site where they make napalm.
Yeah. Use a firehouse.
This all happened in a couple of months at most.
It's crazy.
Anyway, you fight through it and you kill their big boss, Joe Farrow.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next thing, Rhodes sends you to Times Square in order to put Times Square in this game. No, I'm kidding.
Probably.
You go there to fire up a transformer. To
Yeah,
make
more
the area
electrical
stable.
problems.
Yeah.
And it's also they said it's also to increase morale. And it's to like make New York feel a little bit more. Like
Put some of those Christmas lights on.
And then you end up fixing the entire power grid by throwing a switch. I guess that's how power works.
Sure.
As far as I know, that's how my lights work.
You have a gunfight in Times Square, and then Times Square's back. That's
Oh, yeah.
a lot of this is just going somewhere, killing everyone, maybe flipping a switch, and then next mission, or saving someone. You're either flipping a switch or sending someone back to base.
You're killing a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
You've got a higher
Not
body
true.
count than the virus does.
For real.
Yeah, dude, you're like your own gang. Like you murdered way more people than any of these gangs combined.
Yeah.
And so the next stop is they still believe that Amherst was involved, so that you go to his apartment and try to find some information here, and you end up finding a whole bunch of his notes regarding the virus.
Which is just lazy on his part.
Yeah, it's just smallpox, but with a faster incubation and a higher infection rate.
Never mind. I'm not
I
going to
bet
get into
Kendall
that.
knew that.
Well, I was going to say, aren't a lot of people already immune to smallpox?
Yeah.
It kind of makes this, but we're not going to get into the genetic engineering expert.
Yeah. It's different enough.
because I believe we've all been inoculated for that when we were like children.
Yeah.
Right?
Not my son.
I wish you could see what I was seeing, because right outside my hotel room window is a tree and a flying American flag. It's perfect. Because I just noticed it now. I looked up and saw it waving. Like, that's amazing. Anyway, so you find, as you're looking for this, you find a signal from a first wave division agent.
Mm-hmm.
So you go and you're like, well, what's going on here? Let's see if they're alive. Maybe they are. I don't know. And you go to the police academy to check it out. Turns out it's a goddamn ambush.
Of course it is.
And this is where the story pivots a little, because we find out that a group of the first wave agents defected.
Yeah, which makes it seem like there were a lot more first wave.
Yeah. Which is probably the most believable part so far.
Yeah.
It was like the same thing as the cleaners. They got left there and they're like, well, those guys are jerks. Let's kill everyone.
Yeah, again, if this is still... How long were they left there? Fuck.
This happened in 3 days.
He hasn't called in 2 days.
That's a good point. A lot of people getting really desperate and murdery in very short amount.
Yeah, man.
So you head to the Warrengate power plant, which the Rikers have taken over, and it's the last power plant in Manhattan. So you clear it out and murder everyone and secure the power plant. That's pretty much it.
Booyah.
Then you head to the Lexington Event Center to help out Benitez and his people, and you take out the Rikers leadership. I don't know if there really is a Lexington Event Center or if that's supposed to be something else.
Oh, no, I believed it.
All right, so then you kill the Ray Bennett, and she had a wild hype video that you found.
It's so bad. How is anyone hyped for that?
I don't know, but it's her saying we got to take the city back. I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty much it. And got really murdering. Didn't she like cut some guy's throat in the middle of the room?
Yeah, she's like, this is just a scar. This is just blood. This is death.
I don't know who watches that or who's in the room and is like, yeah, man, I'm in.
Oh, I'm with her all the way.
I don't know, the way the world's been the past 2 years, I could believe anything anymore.
Yeah, true. Maybe she had a lot of followers.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing we learned. If you say it with enough confidence, everyone will just believe you.
Yeah, it's true.
So then you find some intel with calls between the JTF leadership, Captain, or I believe Lieutenant Colonel Charles Bliss, and a guy by the name of Aaron Keener. Aaron Keener was a agent from the first wave, and I think this is hilarious because we're 3/4 of the way through the game at this point, and we're just now finding out who the villain of the story is.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was an interesting move, but basically, Lieutenant Colonel Charles Bliss, is pissed that they got abandoned, and he's fine with killing anyone who doesn't take his side. And this is where I believe the LMB is. Like, isn't Lieutenant Charles Bliss the LMB commander?
He's the commander, yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. I don't know why I didn't write that down. But anyway, you get back to the base, and there's a lot of back patting. Like, hey, man, we're doing really great. It's almost New York again. You know?
Did you just play a part from the game?
Yeah. My buddy's thinking of opening his bagel shop back up. It's going to be great.
He's actually talking about reopening. So, Bentley.
No masks in this store.
I guess I have in my repertoire.
Oh, good stuff.
Do a Bentley New Yorker.
Oh, man.
That's too much to push on him right now. Ooh.
I got to work on it. I'll come back next
time. All right.
Well, the New York Bentley. It won't just be Bentley's voice asking for a slice or something. I'll come up with something. So you go off next to Grand Central Station to take out the LMB, the Last Man Battalion. You do that, you kill a bunch of them, and then the next move is to go to the Russian consulate to find a Russian immunologist named Terchenko.
Vitali.
Another main character that just showed up. 3/4 of the game. He supposedly has a bunch of information about creating a cure to the virus. So you go there, the Russian embassy, you clear a bunch of enemies, and he's hidden in a safe room. So you're trying to talk to him. All the way, by the way, another bingo board, silent protagonist. You don't say a goddamn word in this game.
Oh, true.
So you patch through Jessica Candle, and she's like, hey, I remember you. I saw you at a conference. Like, I'm a doctor. We're here to help. Let's figure out a cure. And he's like, all right, fine, hold on. And then an explosion happens.
Oh.
Turns out Keener blew a goddamn hole in the wall of the safe room and stole him.
What a fucking safe room.
Yeah.
Know, right? Well, if you put explosives on the stairwell behind it, it's basically like punching a hard marshmallow. Really, you come right through.
Well, the back wall's made of paper mache.
It's balsa wood mostly, so he just really good kick will take it right down.
How'd they even know it was there?
That's a great question. Like, did he just see the area and be like, I bet the wall behind it we can blow up?
Yeah.
Well, he couldn't get in that way, yeah.
I can't get through this bookcase.
Could be any one of these books.
So, yeah, Keener escapes with Cherchenko, and you're trying to get to him, but you have to fight and kill a guy by the name of Hornet, which is one of Keener's guys.
Oh, yeah.
And what's really funny about this is, oh, shit, he got away. I don't know what we're going to do. And then the doctor's like, we don't really need that Russian guy. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Well, she got the info. Or not yet.
Yeah, she got the info. No, she did get the info. She's like, yeah, I'm good. We don't
need the rest of it. Yeah.
Well, she's like, we don't need him yet. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
To hell with him.
Make sure he doesn't die, I guess.
Yeah. And then you go back to base, and Candle says she has a roadmap for a vaccine. And she goes through the creation of the virus. Apparently, it was pretty easy. You just put a bunch of shit in a computer, you send it to the fucking protein printer accelerator thing, and then boom, you got a virus. That's how easy it is to do.
Yeah, man.
The Virus Printer 3000.
Well, you buy that shit, it puts you on a list.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I lost you guys on the feed for a second, and I came back to just that. So you go to the Grand Assembly building to take out Bliss. Keener takes the Russian and fucks off. Bliss is pissed off, so he decides to be the real hero and run away on a helicopter.
Genius.
You end up shooting his ass down, and that's like the final boss in the game.
That
bothered
pissed me off. Why didn't he fly away when he was almost dead?
I know. He's like, I'll just keep flying in circles around the guy shooting at me instead of flying away.
Trying to kill him. Oh my god, he almost got me. What the fuck?
I also don't get how they're trying to get in a helicopter to leave the city. Why didn't they just do that in the beginning? They're so pissed that they were left there by their government. They could have just flown.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that.
And he could have landed on a goddamn backyard on Long Island and at least had a way out. Like, no, they're just like, yeah, whatever. I can't believe they left us. Anyway, let's shoot everybody.
Well, these helicopters can't go outside of the bubble.
So you get back to base. Fei Lao says that Keener is still out there with Cherchenko, and no one has any idea where Amherst is.
Mm.
Like, he has all these cryptic things about nature happening, and if I die, whatever I die, that's how nature should be. But no one has a body, no one knows where he is. But there is hope. The city is getting back to normal. Now you get a new Shade Tech beacon message. But the Shade Tech is the technology they use.
I know.
Obviously.
It's an upgrade thing.
Got it.
You get Shade Tech to upgrade your ability.
It's like Wayne Tech from the Arkham series.
Then you get to this place. This is like a postscript mission. You just get to a place and you find that Keener left you a message.
Yeah.
And he's like, I know you found this. I'm going to write my own rules. And hey, I like your moxie. You should join up with me because I'm going to win or some bullshit.
Doesn't he tell you to go to the Dark Zone? Is that like after game shit you can do? Multiplayer?
Yes, that's the multiplayer after game shit.
Yeah. Where
you can play a bunch of different game modes. Like, you can do PvP, but also one of the fun ones is you basically go into the Dark Zone. There's a whole bunch of other people. There's a whole bunch of bots. And whatever you loot, you need to evac.
Or people can take it from it, yeah.
Or people can kill you and take it. And if it doesn't evac, then you respawn outside of the Dark Zone and you lost all that shit you got.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Which I thought was an interesting thing, but after I looted like a really cool, really rare weapon and then got immediately murdered, I was like, I'm never going to.
Yeah, there's people who are just that much better at the game.
Yeah.
Just sitting there.
So that's pretty much it for the game. You watch a final video that's kind of a take on the beginning. It has Amherst talk about digitizing DNA and how that sped up the entire virus process. This is how they made the deadly combinations real, by making a smattering of all the viruses. And then the point was to kill as many people as possible so the Earth has a chance to survive.
Wow, so noble.
Yeah.
It was about global warming the entire time. Guys.
Yep. If I die, so be it.
The real division was the friends we made along the way.
It never gets old.
And the loot we took.
Oh, yes. I
Oh,
forgot.
yeah. It's all about the
When
loot.
people Anyway, that's it. That's the game. We did it. We got through it.
Thank
I
goodness.
don't know if we're better people. I don't think
I'm not sure. I'm pretty
No,
sure
I
we're
feel
not.
like we did this game like 6 times already.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So with that, let's get into our final thoughts. Who did we start with last week? Wasn't Chump Slap first last week? Or
Who
no,
knows?
Chump Slap's game.
No, well, yeah, it wasn't me. I'll take it. Shoot it this
All
way.
right.
Go ahead, shoot.
Sir Chump Slap, did this make you want to play the game now? Did the story furrow your brow? What score you give her now?
Well, the story was okay.
The story.
I kind of wanted to play it. I mean, I'm a fan of looter shooters.
Oh boy.
And if I,
Good for you.
if I had friends, I probably would play it. But yeah, I don't know. I'd play. Isn't there a new one coming out soon?
Yeah, it's like the Division Homeland or something like that. I think they're taking it free to play.
Yeah, I might try that. But I don't know. It's like it's not first person shooter. Right? It was like over the shoulder, third person shooter.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
even.
third person.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that, but we'll see. I'm iffy on if I'll play it, but let's talk about the story. Did it work for me? I mean, seen it 100 times.
Yeah.
We actually got 2 bingos on this one. I don't.
On 2 different cards.
Yeah, I got a coverall. It's crazy. It was a story. It worked. It made sense, I guess, as far as it was supposed to. I didn't understand how there were just 3 gangs within weeks of New York shutting down, but hey, man, you do you. So I don't really have much to say about the story because we've said it a lot, and I'll just give it a good old out of 27 stars.
Yeah.
Let's give it a 7. Ugh. Is that too much? That's why I hate go first.
I mean, it's out of 27 stars. That is less than 25. No.
I mean, it was a
22%?
story. If we didn't do any other games that were exactly like this, would it still be a story? And I don't know. Yeah, whatever. I gave it a 7. Shut up. Maybe I was.
Right.
I just liked him
Hey,
catching purple and
we don't have to agree on everything.
shit, you know.
That's why we have the wide range of 3 white guys talking the whole time.
Well, there you go. You have a very extremely confident 7 from Chump Slap.
Yeah,
Let's
whatever,
move
man.
on.
It's a 7.
Okay, all right. Let's see what fucking Dr. Syintist has to say about it. Dr. Syintist,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to play the game now? Did the story work for you? How many stars out of 27 stars would you give it, sir?
No, I'd never play it. The story worked for me. I mean, it was just like every other game we did, and it wasn't even like that innovative. Like it was. I don't know. We've done 1,000 first-person shooter games, and they're all something's happening, the world's dying, we got to save it, and then we do some kind of bullshit.
Man.
But this one was in New York.
Which is only half of the ones we've done.
Yeah.
That's true.
So the real question lies in: is the story Call of Duty Ghosts level good or Killzone good? I don't know. It was kind of boring, and your one-man army shit kind of gets annoying. You didn't even have people with you, like not even.
Well,
someone...
once in a while he did.
Mm,
In the end missions, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, but they were pretty fucking useless.
Yeah, they're like, you go ahead and then we'll come up behind you once you make it.
Yeah, once you get to a certain area, they'll sneak up behind you and kind of throw bullets at the other people.
And it seems like New York should have been like 3 years after the fact in this instead of.
A couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.5 weeks, whatever it was. I mean, I'm sure some nerd out there knows the whole timeline. Feel free to send us an email and tell us how wrong we are.
Yeah, because
We're not looking it up.
So I'll put it at the upper tier of these games and give it 2 stars. I don't know. It's just boring.
same old.
There's no characters. They're all kind of just
What are you talking about?
static.
Candle?
They're static, unchanging people. And
Roads?
and like the end guy's just kind of thrown in there as some random dude.
The end guy
And then-
fucking pissed me off.
It's like I don't know, and there's like nothing gets accomplished.
That's fair.
I don't think you're wrong.
He's making me third guess my time.
No, nothing gets accomplished, but everything gets accomplished.
Yeah.
It's very confusing.
Well, why don't you tell us your thoughts on it then, Poppascotch?
Please, I don't remember what the questions were though.
Oh, would you play this again?
Mhm.
How'd you like the story? And out of 27 stars, how many you throwing its way?
Thanks for asking. I remember I played through this game because I had several characters. So honestly, I played through this game 6 times.
You must have loved it.
Easily the story of, and you know how Chump Slap. You remember Destiny?
Yeah,
You remember how the you do the strikes over and over again? They were the same ones, and you just kept doing them.
Of course.
Was it?
This is the same format, except they were the missions in the game.
Did they have like nightfall strikes, like really hard ones and shit too?
Yeah. They weren't called Nightfall. They were called.
Oh yeah.
Was it team-based stuff, or was it?
You could do it with other people, like you could co-op it, but you don't have to. You could all do it solo as well.
Okay.
But the story, I mean, yeah, you're right. Like the story's nothing we haven't seen before, which is a shame because I like the idea of complete chaos coming from an epidemic that was man-made and purposely designed to cause chaos. Like I'm in. Like with that basic assumption, I'm in. But the game, it's the story. Once you get into it and you get into the story, it's just the same shit. It's just turn on the power, clear out an area, save a person, repeat.
And how come none of these groups were actually worried about the pandemic? Was it over already? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I mean, you saw there was a really cool storytelling moment in this game. You didn't see any of it in the cutscene movie, but you had these moments where you went into infected apartments, and they were like completely tented off. There was like you had to put on your gas mask to go in, and you basically got through the whole thing, and you unraveled another part of the story,
Okay.
like someone's personal account of surviving through the epidemic.
Yeah, but
And those were really cool, but
yeah.
too fucking little, too late, man.
It's also not really part of the story. It's kind of
No,
just
it's-
thrown.
Yeah, side quests.
Yeah.
I will say this, like, you know how we've talked about the journals and the audio stuff and all this stuff, and how games like BioShock did it great, where it's a great story, and then those audio journals like added to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the audio journals and the secondary stuff you find of the people surviving the main outbreak is way more interesting than the game that was given.
Yeah, I could believe that.
But you also don't know the people the thing's about, right?
No, you don't. You're just hearing like
Random
Little-
people stuff.
Yeah, it's
Random
like going into a
people's
vault in
random
Fallout.
story.
You know, you find a neat story here.
yeah, and maybe like there's an extension of the story somewhere else in the island, like that person
Yeah.
later on.
That's
Mhm.
pretty neat.
But yeah, and those are great. But the main story is just go kill everyone. You don't care about trying to reason with or bargain with anyone. You're just murdering them
Mm-hmm.
and trying to get a virus, trying to get a cure. And it just doesn't make any sense that everybody abandoned the entire city until you start.
Yeah, so you're pretty much a cleaner on the good
Pretty
side.
much, yeah. But so let's wrap this up. What score would I play it again? No, I wouldn't play it again just because I played it so many times.
And Division 2 1,000 weeks in a row.
Oh yeah, I spent years of my life on the Division 2. We know that. You can go back and listen to those episodes. I dare you.
Yeah, me too.
Starting from season 1.
Yeah. Would I play it again? No. If I did go back, I'd obviously play the Division 2. What score would I give it? I'm gonna give it 5 stars. Just because there was a decent attempt at a story. I just felt like the big mistake was that we didn't go over the story that was the most interesting part of this whole epidemic. Like, seeing it unfold would have been so much better than what we did, which was one-man army our shit to bringing up New York City again.
That's 14 stars.
That's fair. I kind of feel like I did overscore, but you know, what are you gonna do?
No, I mean, I don't think your score was crazy. Because when I originally thought about it, I put it in like the 10 range, and then I was like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't overthink it, which I should have.
It's also, if you go after the first person, they're like, oh yeah, they could convince you a little bit. Yeah, he was right.
I know. I hate going first. Fuck you guys.
You volunteered.
Yeah, you did. You actually did volunteer this time.
I know, because I'm tired of not going first. Because it's just.
I hate going last, but I don't want to go first.
I know. I don't know how to explain it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we get it.
Yeah, that
We get
makes
it.
sense. So I'm bringing up the spreadsheet of how this accumulates. I mean, I got to think that 14 is one of our better scores this year.
It's at least top 50%.
We gave Thief the Dark Project a 16. We gave Time Shift a 14.
Boom. Yeah, it's perfect. It's just like Time Shift.
And we gave Saints Row a 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in between
I'm
that.
good with that.
I mean, ours are 100% accurate. They're scientifically tested scoring systems.
Yeah. This isn't fucking Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
But was this 3 points better than Bullet Witch?
I'd say more.
It's about.
I'd say it's, yeah, that's about right.
Because we gave Bullet Witch we gave Bullet Witch a 12, the Division of 15.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, how could we be wrong?
It's fucking right. It's in the books. Mark it.
Well, since I know we don't have anything else to say about this game, let's move to our favorite segment of every week, which is Dr. Syintist Classic Wrestling Finisher.
It's a classic wrestling finisher. And it's Scientist Lock of the Week.
Every week, we ask Dr. Syintist for a 100% guaranteed wrestling finisher that mostly you probably don't want to use in a street fight, but sometimes maybe you do. This week, Dr. Syintist, what do you got for us?
We're going back to the well and doing a third move from Rob Van Dam.
RVD!
Oh, shit.
Now, if you pull this one off in a street fight, get video of it because it will be awesome. It's called the Van Terminator.
The Van Terminator. Tell us how this is done. I gotta know.
All right.
I don't even know.
Well, you kind of like prop your opponent up in the corner against the turnbuckles.
Mm-hmm.
Then you put a chair on him.
Oh.
And then you go to one of the adjacent corners and jump on the top rope and then drop kick the chair. Like jump all the way across the ring and drop kick the chair in
Get
the
the
guy's
fuck
face.
out.
How?
That's pretty far.
Yeah, yeah. He barely makes it on some of them, but it's still fun. It's still awesome to watch because Rob Van Dam is probably one of the most entertaining wrestlers to watch.
This might be the first video I watch, actually.
Well, you can head on over to our YouTube post. You can like and subscribe there. It'll really help us out. And you can see a compilation we're going to link to of this move right here, which I totally didn't forget the name of.
It's the
The
Rob
Van Terminator.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't have
Van
a first name.
Terminator. So I'm having trouble seeing this in my head. Would this kill someone?
Probably not.
It'd probably really hurt both of you a lot, but
Yeah. You're jumping like 30,
I don't think it's 30 feet. Maybe
20 feet.
yeah, something. I don't know how wide
It's
a
still
ring is.
fucking
Yeah.
far.
Yeah, that's the second story. That's jumping out of a second floor window.
Vertically. Or
Horizontally, yeah.
Still, whatever. That's the classic wrestling. So let's move into our favorite segment of every week, which is Chump Slap. Would you rather?
Would you rather?
Huh?
Every week, we ask Chump Slap a would you rather question, and he has to answer it and explain himself. This week, we're going to learn. It's one of those where we're going to learn a little bit about Chump Slap today.
Oh, you sure you want to?
I always think they're going to be tough ones, and I feel like this is going to be another one of those where you answer it in 2 seconds.
Oh, it will be.
So, Chump Slap.
Yeah.
Would you rather go back to the age 18 knowing everything you know right now,
Yes.
or just get handed $1 million?
Oh, I'd go back to 18, dude.
Yeah?
Because,
His back wouldn't hurt.
yeah, my back wouldn't hurt. For one,
Step one.
I probably wouldn't fuck up my life as hard as I did by now.
You might have graduated from college.
Exactly. I wouldn't have got a DUI and dropped out. I would know to wager heavy on Tesla and Apple and shit.
Invest in Bitcoin when it's 25 cents the whole thing.
Yeah. It's hands down. There's no fucking...
Oh, yeah. Just imagine how much money you can make in Bitcoin knowing that.
Imagine
you know?
having an 18-year-old body again. I mean, I'd kill for it.
Yeah. I could bend over and put my socks on without sitting down.
Yeah, I could wake up not being tired as hell.
Your bones don't make any weird noises when you get up?
Yeah. Want to have the shit job I've had for 18 years.
But, I mean, you do always run the risk of making brand new mistakes.
That's fine. I would gladly welcome any new mistakes.
The adventure is the
buy
journey.
Magic cards ever.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
that was
let's not
before
get
I started that.
Let's not get crazy. That's
You know how much? No, I don't want to get into
You could
more.
make a lot of money if you would have done that.
I know, yeah. Well, actually, yeah. I'd probably buy more.
You buy all those original first runs on those
Fuck
Black
yeah,
Lotus
man.
cards when they're 99 cents.
Yeah, I'd make killing. Or am I just 18? I go back in time, right?
I assume that's what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you'd go back to you'd be teleported back to 30 years ago when you were 18.
Yeah. If there's ever 30 years ago.
I thought you were going to gloss over that.
If there's ever a question where I can go back in time, it's always going to be that. It doesn't matter what. I can go back in time with one less foot. I don't give a fuck.
Dude, wager millions on the Rams winning against the fucking
Seriously.
Titans and stuff.
When the Cubs won the World Series.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I always, when I go back, if I think about this question, going back in time, my mind immediately goes to sports. And
Well, yeah,
if I
'cause
could
Back to the
remember who
Future
won
too.
championships, I don't think I would.
I'd probably forget. I don't remember shit about the years.
Yeah, but I think that now that you mentioned Bitcoin, I'm like, yeah, that's the answer.
Yeah.
Like you buy all the Bitcoin you want for 25 cents each.
Yeah.
But then you got to wait 20 years. But
Or any any company that just came around in the last 20 years that was worth millions.
YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah.
Netflix, when that was $3 a share.
Yeah, where you could only get it from
Yeah. Exactly,
not streaming.
man.
Yeah, I mean, if you know what stocks are going to hit, I would have spent I didn't have a whole shitload of money at all when I was, in college or coming out of college.
I would have taken a shitty job, dropped out of college, and just bought these fucking shitty stocks, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Instead of betting $50 on the Rams, I would have spent $5,000.
Yeah.
Then it starts me off.
Exactly.
That's a good point. You got to think that you'd remember one of those bowl games or Super Bowls from when you were in college,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. I think, hands
But
down.
could you, Chump Slap, let's say at that age you go to all your friends, could you convince them enough to give you all of their money to bet?
You know what? That was always a movie I wanted to make. Like, what would it take to convince you that these people were from the future and they're talking to you?
Yeah, but what if it's like Hot Tub Time Machine and all of a sudden there's a squirrel on the field and fucking,
Yeah, exactly. Like the things you're doing alter
And then Lugal.
the future.
yeah.
Well, yeah, it would change because you'd have money.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not going to be a big enough change.
It's not going to be big enough. I'll be anonymous.
Yeah, but you're also, if you have the money, you're taking it out of someone else's pocket. So maybe that could change.
That's how money works. Yeah.
So-
but
Yeah.
I mean, that's not exactly how it works, but I think you'd have to go big on one thing.
Yeah.
Because, like, what if you bet huge on a sports game, butterfly effect happens in Bitcoin and crypto never happens. So you can't cash in later. You know what I mean?
I think that's getting a little ridiculous.
Well,
we have to
iPhone-
talk about this on our time travel podcast.
Dude, just Apple alone with iPhones coming out, because when
Yeah.
I was 18, they weren't a thing.
Yeah, cell phones weren't a thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'd make a killing on fucking AT&T and Apple.
Yeah. All right, well, that's the answer. You'd go back to 18, knowing everything you know now, rather than just getting handed $1 million right now.
And then we'll spend 15 minutes talking
Maybe if
about
you
it.
said $1 billion, I'd think
Ooh.
about it. No, I'd take the billion.
Yeah, a million's almost nothing.
Yeah.
I was thinking about making it a higher number and trying to just basically take the work out of going back to 18.
Yeah.
But $1 million isn't that much, though, Pops.
Yeah, $1 million
I know,
is
you're
shit.
Bullshit. Anyway, if someone maybe had a better idea of who you could invest in when you were at that age, where could they send that email to, Sir Chump Slap?
I'll send that to plottytime@gmail.com, and I'll personally respond to each and every one.
Great, perfect. He has a 100% response rate. Hasn't missed one yet. Dr. Syintist, let's say I came up with a better bumper than just ideas of what to invest in. Where could they get to us faster on the socials about that information?
At Plottytime on Instagram, Twitter, and Stars Social Net.
And you can also go to YouTube, like and subscribe there. Really helps us out. Like and subscribe, rate, review anywhere. Anywhere.
Yeah, give us
Talk
thumbs
about it.
up. 5
Or
stars.
thumbs down. Tell your
Anything.
friends. Anything. Just talk to us.
Put a message in a fucking bottle.
I dare you. But that does it for us. So get out there, play some video games. Don't trust Dr. Scientist. Talk to you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.